right, good morning or good evening. Thank you guys so much for tuning into today's video. Today is January 12th, 2025, and I will be going over the weekly market outlook for the week of January 13th to January 17th with you guys today. So, beginning with the dollar, I'll try to keep it brief and short for you guys here, but for the weekly time frame on the dollar, I am anticipating for prices to take out previous week's high here based on this weekly candle right here. So this gray line is pointed towards a weekly candle, and based on that weekly candle, I can anticipate the weekly high to be taken, and I'll denote the weekly high as this green line. So this green line is a price level that I am anticipating for prices to attack, right? This is existing liquidity. This is previous week's high. So coming into this week, I am anticipating that prices create a open. So this is the weekly open. We manipulate lower into some sort of lower time frame FEG, and then we attack previous week's high. After we take out previous week's high here on the dollar, I don't necessarily have an objective, right? After we take out that weekly objective, I no longer have a weekly objective, and then I would rely on maybe, daily candles or 4-hour candles, 6-hour, 8-hour, 10-hour, or 12-hour for an intraday bias. But like I said before, my weekly objective, my weekly bias is previous week's high on the dollar. So if we're seeing higher prices here on the dollar, what should we be seeing here on NQ and ES on the indices? We should be seeing lower prices here on the indices. Oh, and going back to the dollar here, I am anticipating for us to attack previous week's high on Monday. So possibly we should take out previous week's high here on Monday. We did create this large 4-hour fair value gap right here, which I am anticipating that prices respects, right? So if we retrace back inside here, which is reasonable, we should expand higher. But yeah, so going on to NQ here for this week. So this weekly candle here on NQ, notice how we created a bearish weekly candle. So based on this weekly candle, I can anticipate for previous week's low to be taken, right? Previous week's low would be the draw of liquidity for me for this week, and it's reasonable for us to take out previous week's low this week and have a larger expansive move here on, I guess, on the monthly time frame as well. So this week we have PPI, we have CPI, we have core retail sales, and unemployment claims. So we have a decent amount of red folder news and two important news events that should be major market movers here, right? But if we have created the monthly candles high here, so this is the monthly candle. So if we have created the monthly candles high last week, we should be expanding here coming into this week. We should expand here on the monthly candle because, like I said, PPI, CPI is this week. And based on this weekly candle, like I said before, it's a bearish weekly candle, so I can anticipate for previous week's low to be taken here on the dollar. On the daily time frame, however, we do have an SMT here between NQ and ES. So this is ES's low right here. So notice how ES had took out November 19th low of day, right? We took out November 19th low of day, but NQ did not. So there's a larger SMT right now. So that is something that I am watching out for, because if we are going to reverse to attack all-time highs, this SMT should hold. But I am still seeing lower prices here for this week. So it depends. after we take out the weekly low here, I would switch over to the daily time frame, the 4 hour, the 6 hour, the 8 hour, the 10 hour, or the 12 hour for my intraday bias. But that's only after I would use the daily time frame for my bias after we complete the weekly objective, right? But yeah. And if we want to see previous week's low be taken, I want to see I want to I want to be able to get a model that aligns me with being able to sell above the weekly open, right? So if we are anticipating for previous week's low to be taken, you want to be a seller above the weekly open. That just makes sense, right? That's like the idea of buying below the open, selling above the open. So in this case, I'm selling above the open because I'm anticipating for prices to move lower. So if you're selling above the open, technically you're selling in premium. And here going on to ES, same bias as well coming into ES as NQ. Based on this weekly candle, I want to see us take out previous week's low. After we take out previous week's low, I would use the daily time frame as my bias, my higher time frame bias, but that's only after we complete the weekly objective. And like I said before, if we have created the monthly high here last week, we should create that expansion, right? If we manipulated here last week, we should be expanding now coming into this week. And it's reasonable for us to expand this week, right? PPI, CPI. So everything is in alignment with one another. Is there anything else? Oh, I do want to go over this too. So we did create a rather large expansion here Friday. So just watch out for maybe a possible creation of a daily fair value gap, which is something that I am anticipating. I'm not anticipating for prices to trade all the way back and have this immediate rebalance here, right? I want to see us just create that daily fair value gap, meaning Monday's high of day should not overlap with Thursday's low of day. So there should be a separation between Thursday's low of day and Monday's high of day. And same thing here on NQ as well. So that's why I have that daily IRB, daily immediate rebalance, which is something that I am not anticipating. I am not anticipating a daily immediate rebalance. I would want to see us create a daily fair value gap. But yeah, that basically wraps it up for the weekly market outlook. I know it was a little bit quick, but there wasn't really much for me to go over here. The bias here for the indices this week is rather, clear cut and simple. I want to see lower prices. I want to see previous week's low be taken. Afterwards, I'll switch over to the daily time frame and 4 hour, 6 hour, etc. for my bias, for my intraday bias. But yeah, that wraps it up for the weekly market outlook for this week. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and until next time, be safe.